So I have 9 cloves of garlic. I have 2 peppers, one orange, one red. Doesn't matter which ones you decide to use, you can use any. These are small size, so if it's a large one, you can just use one. I've got onions chopped in here, about 2 onions, and I've got coriander, a bunch. Alrighty guys, so you heat up olive oil. I just put a little bit in here to cover the bottom and just a little bit extra on top. The stove should be on high so that this gets nice and hot. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your chopped onions. So I put 1 large onion in here and I chopped it up. So just so you know, there's this one chopper piece, which I'll mention to you guys later. I recommend buying it. It's amazing, easy on your hands. If you're a person that has arthritis like I do, it really takes a toll in your fingers when you bend, when you use a knife. And you know, in the kitchen, obviously you need very good knives. But for the chopping aspect of it, on most things, I use this gadget and it is absolutely amazing. So I'll show you guys what it is at the end, and I recommend it. So you can hear it's already sizzling. Just let my onion saute in there, right? I then throw in as well, I throw in my orange and red pepper. And again, you can use green peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers, orange. Doesn't matter the color of the pepper. These are the sweet peppers. And I just used 1 of each. Only specifically because it was they were small peppers. So that's why. Otherwise, if it's a really big pepper, you just need 1. Okay, so throw that in there. And then I took about 7 or 8 cloves of garlic and throw that in there. Okay? Don't leave nothing behind. Use all of it. And let it all saute in the pan. While this all sautés, you're also going to throw in your chopped coriander. It's nice because this is what gives your Spanish rice some really amazing flavor. You can throw all these ingredients into the blender, and that's how you make your sofrito, for those of you who have heard me speak about it before. When you make your rice fresh that day, you can use the sofrito and it comes out just as delicious. But there's something about chopping stuff up fresh that morning and using it right then and there when you're making your rice. It just gives it a little more of that fresh feeling. And the flavors is just, I think, that much better. So, just a little FYI. Okay, so I have to let this all come to a nice simmer in here. Get this going. Okay, so as you can see, this is now all coming to a nice saute. So I'm going to throw some ingredients in there at the same time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a little packet of sazon, badia. So this is good for the flavor, but it's also good for color. This is what makes your rice that orangey color. I'm going to use another one. And this one is for flavor and stews. Sazon, again, Badia brand. Because I'm making a big portion of rice, I'm using 2. I like to throw a little bit of turmeric in mine, so I put about a teaspoon of it. I throw a little bit of this Indian chili powder called Indian mirchi. So I throw about a teaspoon of that, maybe 2. It's not that spicy, it just gives it a nice little kick. It's not spicy at all. It's just a nice flavorful little kick. And this is a little black pepper. So again, like, you know, 1 full teaspoon. So keep in mind, I'm making this completely vegetarian, so I'm not putting any chicken broth in here. If you wanted to make it with chicken broth, you can do that. It really gives it a nice flavor. Comes out really good. So yeah. So now we're going to take all of this and just stir it up in here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of salt in here, not too much. And again, guys, I don't measure by teaspoon, whatever. I do it by eye. So just a little bit of salt in there, not too much because you don't want salty food. I'm then going to throw 2 cans of, and so this is important, pigeon peas. Pigeon peas. I don't care what brand they are. Pigeon peas, not chickpeas. Pigeon peas. And they have the green ones and they have the dry ones. I use either of them. Doesn't matter to me. Okay? Throw that in there. Some people prefer the green. Some people don't, you know, want the dry. They're all the same to me. They taste great. You're going to add water to this and bring this all to a boil. Okay, so you're going to actually stir this whole thing up in here. Can you see the way that looks? This is your flavor. This is your base for your rice. So I will put some water in here. So the way you measure out is, I'm making a big portion today, but the way you measure out is that for every 1 cup of rice, you put 2 of water. All right. You're going to let this all come to a boil. So what you're going to do is you're going to cover the pot, and then you'll come back to it, okay? This is all your flavorful. You let this all come to a boil. So, like I said, I stopped using adobo. So you can use Mrs. Dash. It's salt-free. Or you can use this bottle called, it's from McCormick Clubhouse. And it's vegetable seasoning. It's actually really nice. It enhances the flavor of your rice really nicely. So yeah. I'm going to show you what we use. And actually it's pretty good because it doesn't have MSG. And so you don't want to really cook with MSG. So everything I just showed you doesn't have MSG, including the Badia Sazon. This is the ingredient, vegetable, right? So put some of this in here. Some of you are saying, but how much? How much do I put? Put about 4 tablespoons. Yeah, that's about 4 tablespoons. Now all of this has to come to a boil. So it's on high. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to put the lid on in order to help it come to a boil. Once it comes to the boil, then we add the rice. Okay, so now this comes to a boil, and after this is nice and boiling, right? The flavors are all coming together, the seasonings are all in there. So all you're gonna do is throw in your rice. So like I said, I'm making a big pot of rice today because I've got quite a bit of people to feed. So some people like to wash their rice, some people like to soak their rice. I don't. But I like to use basmati rice because I find that basmati rice is perfect to absorb the water without your rice being soggy. Big complaint about people who make rice is that, oh, I don't know how to make rice. My rice comes out too sticky. It doesn't come out nice. It doesn't come out grainy. Basmati rice lends itself to come out nice and grainy and absorb the water really well, and comes out nice and grainy. So now that this has come to a boil, I'm going to put my rice in. Okay, so I put all my rice in, and rice is not something you stir while it cooks. You kind of, this is the only time you're just going to stir it so that it's all even in the pot. And then once the water absorbs, you'll touch the rice one more time and then you're done. So we'll wait for this to absorb, and then we will figure out. Next one will be the rice is cooked. Okay, so rice starts drying up, right? So the water starts getting absorbed, and you bring the rice towards the center of the pot. This is the only way you stir your rice, okay? You don't play with the rest of it. Bring it towards the center of the pot, and now it's going to cook with the steam. All the water was absorbed by the rice. This goes here. Okay. And then you just put the lid on it, like so, and let it cook.